The Snyder Cut is almost here. I'm not a massive Zack Snyder fan. I don't love every single movie that he makes. I definitely think he has his moments, and not all of them are for me.
Kill Martha! Why did you say that name?
But that being said, I couldn't help but think about the importance of the Snyder Cut and how millions of people on the internet had the capability to change a studio's perspective, and they gave him a second chance to finish the film that he never got to make. I couldn't stop thinking about that because I don't think anything like that has ever been done before. I mean, there's always been director's cuts, and directors have always been able to change the theatrical cut down the road, or they've been able to release an alternate version of the film, but never before has a studio been pressured into releasing an unfinished product. And I can't help but admire it. It's a really strange thing. If you hadn't heard about any of the behind-the-scenes drama that occurred on Justice League during the process of making the film, he decided to part ways due to a personal loss in his family. Warner Bros. Decided to bring in Joss Whedon to finish what Zack had started. And it didn't go over well.
At last, you call me home.
Like brunch. Like, what is brunch?
And I get the exclusive.
Yes, ma'am.
The movie was released, that's for sure, but not a good one. Lots of people disliked it. Many people said it was unfinished. It seemed like two different visions. One side, Justice League. The other side, the unfinished remains of what could be a Zack Snyder film. HBO Max threw over $70 million at Zack Snyder to finish the film that he had originally wanted to make after millions of fans begged them to make this thing a reality. What a strange time to be alive, right? A director can get a second chance to finish the film that they had originally wanted to make, and it makes me ponder a lot of things. I don't think people understand how important that is. I don't think people understand how awful it is to have somebody's piece of artwork dismantled and used for a cheap cash grab for the audience that they've assimilated over the years. People may say, oh, it's a big blockbuster movie, like who cares? Like, it's not really high art form anyways. But it is. Art is subjective. It's different for everyone. For some people, art is a painting that looks like a baby threw up on a piece of paper, and for other people, art is, I don't know, 13 seasons of Glee. It's different for everyone. I think a lot of people think that like comic book movies are just mindless nonsense, and some are, sure. There are only so many blue beams that can shoot up into the sky before you just stop giving a shit. I think it's bad for people to buy into the stereotype that comic book movies aren't an art form, because it is. Comic books are an art form. It's very colorful and vibrant, and these larger than life stories, it's no different than like Greek mythology. It's just repackaged in a different format, but it's art nonetheless. And in Zack Snyder's case, regardless of however you feel about his movies, that is his way of expressing his art. And to have a piece of art taken away from you and butchered and maimed, and to have your name thrown onto something that you aren't even proud of is kind of disgusting. It's fucked up, right? Using the corpse of somebody's hard work and dedication and just throwing it together last second, last ditch effort. We need to use whatever's left to just make as much money as possible. Sure, movie making is a business, but it's an art form at the same time. I feel like this idea that studios think that they can just hire whoever and throw something together like it's a proven formula. It's very obvious that they wanted a Marvel movie because they hired the guy that made the Avengers Come on. You knew what you were doing. You said,
Hey, we kind of got this leftover, that we don't know what to do with, and we kind of want you to, like, come in and maybe just, like, throw some, Avenger sauce on it. Do you think you can, like, dig up your secret recipe and just kind of, like, do the same thing over again for us? That would be super rad.
they should have never gone through with that. And the fact that they tried it is fucked up because they set it off to the slaughter and they said, we don't care, it's about the money. I'm trying to make a point about integrity. And I think trying to alienate someone's audience by feeding them a stitched together Frankenstein movie, it's just a disgrace. I think the thing that I hate about the theatrical cut the most is that it doesn't do anything. I have a very strict guideline that I follow when I watch movies. The only two things that I care about is whether I think it was good or whether I think it was bad. The reason why that's so important is because no matter if it's one or the other, it got a reaction out of me. And that's a good sign because no matter how you feel about it, it elicited an emotion. Maybe it's a good one, maybe it's a bad one, maybe you love it, maybe you hate it. And this didn't do anything. And those are the worst kinds of movies. I call them vanilla movies. It gives you no emotion. You feel nothing and you walk out of it and you wish that you had the time back watching that film. And that's all that the theatrical cut is. It's a vanilla movie. But they thought that they could sell it to you. And for the people that weren't willing to buy into that, you won. It's proof that the passion drives the people. Even if that's you or if that's not you, you should be happy regardless because a good thing was done. And I sympathize with Zack Snyder because think about the situation that he was in where you lose your daughter and the one thing that you can turn to as a way of expression in your life, because that's what it is. Art is an expression, an extension of yourself. The one thing that you can turn to is maimed. It's taken away from you. That must have been hard to see it just slip away like that, and nothing could be done about it. I have to give him credit for coming back and finishing this for his fan base and for the people that asked for it. He also didn't take a paycheck for this film. He's making no money. He just came back to finish it and say that he did it, and that's it. A lot of people call Snyder fans toxic or aggressive. I think it's harsh to underplay the things that have gone on here. A fan base that brought the movie that they wanted back, that gave their director a second chance, that have done good things for charity and have tried to build a community amongst themselves for something that they all enjoy and they have a passion for. That to me is a really beautiful thing, because it means that from one of the biggest disappointments brought to a community of people, they were able to take that and turn it into something good. And I think the world is better because of it. I used to think that his films were just grotesque and I would detest them and that's not real cinema. The older I get, the more I realize that he's just another dude making movies, and that's his outlet, and that's how he expresses himself, and that's his thing. And yes, we may not like it because, I don't know, the symbolism and the motifs or the cinematography, the acting, the writing, whatever. All that aside, it's just not for some people at the end of the day. And that's fine, because there is enough to go around in the world. Not every single film has to be for you. Now, when I say all of this, I'm not saying that he's not exempt from criticism. That's not what I'm saying at all. If the movie sucks, the movie sucks. That's fine. I'm not saying that the Snyder Cut is going to be the greatest thing that's like ever come out. It could be complete dog shit. I don't really fucking know. The point that I'm trying to make about this is the fact that it's even here is important. Audiences have more control than these studios, and they can dictate what they want to see, because the person that's watching these things, the person behind the camera, the person in the audience, the person behind the TV, the person on their phone, they control what they want to see. And that is an important thing. There's something to be said for people that put their all into their passion, to come back and finish it all the way to the end for the fans and for your own creative personal drive. Takes a lot. It really does. If you're somebody that enjoys art at all, I think we can all be appreciative that somebody is doing what they love and they get the chance to make it right. On a final note, if you're anybody that's putting your art out into the world, don't be ashamed of it, because if you're happy doing it, then nothing else matters.